Bringing you the latest news from around the world and here at home, I'm Sandro Ferdinando.
And I'm Nicola De Souza. Here are your top stories.
Draft constitution of the UNP-led alliance under the title rejected by the UNP Working Committee. Deputy leader of the UNP, Sajith Premadasa, says he is ready for any challenge. Decision of the SLFP on the presidential candidate to be announced on the 2nd of September. Presidential Committee questions popular actress Sabita Pereira on transactions involving the building of the Ministry of Agriculture.
The draft of the constitution to establish a new alliance by the name Democratic National Front was strongly opposed at the meeting of the Working Committee of the United National Party today. The Working Committee of the United National Party convened this morning and was chaired by Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe. The draft of the constitution of the Democratic National Front that is due to be established on the 5th of this month was presented to the Working Committee. According to the draft, parties included in the alliance are the United National Party, the Sri Lanka Muslim Congress, the All Ceylon Makkal Congress, Tamil Progressive Front, the Jathika Helurme and the United Left Front. Ministers Rajitha Senaratne and Arjun Ranatunga are the initial members of the alliance. The new alliance includes a leadership council and an executive committee. The Leadership Council is vested with the power to make decisions while the Executive Council reserves the power to make policy decisions. The Leadership Council consists of no less than 10 members, with each party of the alliance allocated one seat in the council. The respective party secretaries must announce the member of the party appointed to the Leadership Council. Rajitha Senaratne and Arjun Ranatunga are included in the Leadership Council. The Leadership Council holds the power to appoint and decide on the term of the leader of the alliance. In the instance the Leadership Council cannot reach a conclusive decision, the vote of the UNP representative in the council will be considered as 50% plus 1. The Leadership Council is also the body that can exercise the power to make decisions on the selection of candidates for the general and provincial council elections and amend and formulate laws and regulations that govern the alliance. The draft of the constitution does not include any express provisions on the selection of the presidential candidate. The Leadership Council is vested with the power to make decisions on any matter that is not specifically included in the constitution. No less than 50 members must be appointed to the executive committee of the new alliance. The Leadership Council will decide on the composition of members to be selected from each member party. According to the draft, a policy decision requires the support of 70% of members from the executive committee and the support of a majority of the member parties. Proposals have also been made to appoint a new organizer of the Democratic National Front to every electorate. Only 12 members of the Working Committee had supported this draft constitution. The members who supported the draft include Ministers Akhil Viraj Karyawasa, Lakshman Kiriyalla, Sagar Ratnayaka, Navin Dissanayaka, Ravi Konaranaika, John Amaratunga, and MPs Shamal Senrath, Kavinda Jayawardena, K.K. Piyadasa, Tennako Nilame, Lasant Gunawardena, and Mahinda Haradasa. Over 4/5 of the 60-member Working Committee of the United National Party had opposed this draft constitution.
මන්ත්‍රීවරු 3 දෙනෙකුත් නිල වශයෙන් පත් කරනු ලැබූ ත්‍යාධිකාරී මණ්ඩල සමාජිකයෝ 12 දෙනෙකුත් පමණයි කියා සිටියේ.
It was only 3 MPs and 12 members who were appointed to the Executive Council that agreed that the formation of this alliance should be done on the 5th. The majority at the meeting were of this opinion that this is not suitable. Extensive discussions were held on the fact that the position of General Secretary of the party is to be given to a person who is not a member of the United National Party. Minister Sajith Premadasa said that he is ready to take up the position of Secretary of the Alliance that they are forming to prevent any further uncertainties. There was opposition against the manner in which this alliance was going to be formed on the 5th of this month without inviting party supporters and only having religious leaders present at the event. At this instance, Sajith Premadasa proposed that a large number of party supporters be called to the Golface Green and the formation of the alliance and the announcement of the candidate should be done on a large scale. He was of the view that the start of a successful campaign should be done in a grand fashion. There is some problem here, and that is the reason why we are discussing this. Otherwise, there will be no reason to hold discussions. Everyone feels that there are issues with the way things are being done and the content of the agreement that is to be signed. We are looking at solving these issues and we can resolve these issues.
මොකද්ද ගැටලුවක් තියෙන බව තමයි ඉතින් කාටවත් තේරෙන්නේ. ඉතින් මම ඒක අපේ ඒ ප්‍රශ්න විසඳ ගන්න බලන්න අපිට ඒක විසඳ ගන්න පුළුවන්.
යෝජිත සන්දහනේ මෙහියුම් කටයුතු සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ අරලිගහ මන්දිරේද සිරිකොතේද නැත්නම් වෙන කාගේ හරි ගෙදරකද?
කෙටුම්පතේ තියෙන වෙන ලිපිනයක්. සිරිකොත නොවන ලිපිනයක් තමයි කෙටුම්පතේ තියෙන්නේ.
ඔයතුමාලගේ ජනාධිපති අපේක්ෂා සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස මහතාද?
නෑ මගේ පෞද්ගලික මතය ඒකයි අපි
That is my personal opinion. We presented this proposal when the working committee convened today. We stated that the presidential candidate of the party should be named before holding any conventions or forming any alliances. Especially the seniors of our party such as Kabir Hashim and Mangala Samarveera were of the same view.
තුළු අපේ පක්ෂයේ ජ්‍යෙෂ්ඨයෝ ඒ අදහස් තමයි දරුවේ.
මෙතුමා මේ අලිත් ඉල්ලන්න වගේ හදන්නේ නේ? එහෙමද වෙන්නේ? අදමයි තුමා හැමදාමත් කරේ කල්මරණ එක ප්‍රශ්න වලට මේකද ඒකබද වෙන්නේ මේ
මම ඒකට උත්තර දෙන්නේ නැහැ.
එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂයේ සියලුම දෙනා එකඟයි සන්දානයක් හදලා
Everyone in the United National Party agree with the decision to form an alliance to contest for the upcoming presidential election. But the Central Working Committee could not come to consensus on this draft constitution. One of the fundamental questions that were raised was regarding who the General Secretary of this alliance would be. Because the United National Party is a massive party, so this was formulated in a manner that the UNP has one vote and the other parties also get one vote each. There is no issue there, but the General Secretary of the alliance is very important. This was discussed in length. Our Deputy Leader Sajith Premadasa brought forward a proposal saying that he is ready to hold the position of General Secretary of the alliance, and many members of the Working Committee approved this. Our opinion was that this proposal be discussed further and a consensus on the matter be reached thereafter. But the Honourable Leader wanted us to approve this today itself. Although the Prime Minister called for a vote, many of the members were not ready for a vote.
ඡන්දයකට බොහෝ දෙනා ලෑස්ති වුණේ නැහැ.
ඒක නමුත්තුමා දැන් පස්වෙනි සුගතදාස පිටියේදී මේක අත්සන් කරන එක කල්යයිද?
සමහරුන්ගේ මතය
It was the opinion of some that this should not be done on the 5th, but on a subsequent date. The Prime Minister was of the opinion that this should be done on the 5th. The draft does not specify on how the presidential candidate will be chosen. The Constitution of the Alliance states at one place that the Leadership Council is the body that can make decisions on matters that are not specifically mentioned in the Constitution. We were against that, because the candidate of our party is very important when we launch our campaign for the presidential election.
අපේක්ෂකයා කවුද කියන එක ඉතාමත්ම වැදගත් වෙනවා ජනාධිපති වරණයට යනකොට.
සන්දානයක් ගිවිසුම් ගත වීමේදී
When the alliance is formed, the United National Party should have a majority share of the power as the main party. We strongly stated that the leadership of the party and the position of General Secretary should be awarded to the United National Party. Also, we highlighted the fact that certain provisions in the draft should also be amended. The address of the alliance was not the address of the Sirikota headquarters. That too was opposed by us.
මම දන්නේ සිරිකොත නොවන ලිපිනයක්.
අද උත්සාහයක් තිබුණා නේද අද දිනේදීම මේ ව්‍යවස්ථාව මේ ඔබතුමාලගේ එකඟතාවය ලබා ගන්න.
එහෙම උත්සාහයක් තිබුණා වගේ පෙවුණා.
ඔබතුමාලගේ එකඟතාවයක් නැහැ.
නෑ බහුතරයේ එකතාවක් තිබුණ නැහැ ව්‍යවස්ථාවට.
Deputy Leader of the UNP Minister Sajith Premadasa said that he informed the working committee that he is ready to take up responsibilities.
The Senpati Nandamitragama, constructed in Ballagaswava, Hambantota, was vested with the public under the auspices of Minister Sajith Premadasa. This is the 229th model village constructed under the Samata Sevana Yalipibidana Udagamana project. Following the official opening of the village consisting of 39 houses, the minister received a warm welcome by the people who attended the event and was escorted to location where the ceremony was held by the cheering supporters. I openly stated before the working committee of the UNP that Sajid Premadasa is ready to accept responsibility. Now there are no two words about it. I have got down to business. I swear to you that I will shoulder the responsibility of the future of this country, of the children and the future generation of this nation. This election is not a challenge. Do not be afraid. Today, while I am visiting this village named after the Nandamitra giant, I would like to state that no matter who makes challenges, no matter who creates obstacles, and no matter the issues created, Sajid Premadasa is ready to work.
සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස වැඩේට ලෑස්ති කියන එක මේ අවස්ථාවේ බොහොම වගකීමෙන් ප්‍රකාශ කරනවා.
A modern apartment complex constructed in Slave Island in Colombo was vested to the public by Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe today.
This project was implemented under the first stage of the Slave Island redevelopment project and was completed at a total cost of 7,000 million rupees. This building consists of 626 housing units and 120 shops. These houses were given to the underprivileged families residing in Malay Street, Java Street and Glennie Street. A group of dignitaries, including the Indian High Commissioner to Sri Lanka, His Excellency Taranjit Singh Sandhu, were present at this event.
Easter attacks, my friend, have not deterred us in any way in continuing our development partnership with Sri Lanka. We recently signed a contract agreement of upgrading railway track from Maho to Mantai under the Indian concessional financing for around $90 million. We completed the launch of free emergency ambulance service in all provinces in Sri Lanka under an Indian grant. We just concluded the India International Textile Expo in Colombo. Indian tourists are back in Sri Lanka in big numbers and are continuing to have destination weddings. Indian companies are wholeheartedly participating in various events in Colombo, such as International Logistics Conference.
මේ බෝම්බ පිපිරීමෙන් පස්සේ අපි
We did not reel back after the April 21st attacks. We went forward with the development of this country. After the April 21st attacks, we received the opportunity to obtain $1,000 million from the world market. We are now planning on taking $500 worth of samurai stocks from the Japan stock market. No matter how many people blame us, we have brought results. We have to go forward from this. We have to step into the next phase. When this program is implemented for the next 5 years, we do not have to be worried about any loans. We can very proudly state that we have paid all these loans and then move forward. I would like to state that it is only this government that can face all these obstacles successfully and ensure that this country would have a bright future. There are people who will leave this and run away, saying that they don't want to take loans. We are not going to make votes. We will only go for an election after we complete all of these tasks.
මේ වැඩ කටයුතු ඉවර කළා තමයි අපි ඡන්දවලට යන්නේ.
Here are some of the views expressed at a media briefing convened by the Government Medical Officers Association.
One thing that we always said is that Rajat Sena Ratna is implementing a program to destroy the established systems in our country. This is an anti-establishment campaign. So who really wants to destroy the established systems in our country? With the program that Rajat Sena Ratna is implementing, it is clear that international forces, these forces that conspire against us and seek to destroy our systems and procedures, are placing the people that they want in certain places. During the tenure of Health Minister Rajat Sena Ratna, we see that many projects to achieve this have been implemented. One thing that we see is the massive amount of substandard medical drugs that are not used in any other country and do not have any quality certificates imported into Sri Lanka. The Auditor General's report states that 162 million rupees had been spent on the purchase of expired medical drugs in 2015. In 2016, this had increased to 491 million rupees. If Rajat Sena Ratna is not responsible for this, who else is? Honestly, the entire country knows what kind of a politician Rajat Sena Ratna is. Rajat Sena Ratna changes parties and destroys a party from within. It's like a game to him. This is what he is doing today as well. So we are warning the government. We told the President and the Prime Minister then, and we are telling them now. We would also like to warn the supporters of the UNP. Rajat Sena Ratna has initiated a program that will destroy the United National Party. He has played within many parties. he has destroyed many parties. One thing that Minister Rajat Senaratne says is that many people spoke out against him, but none of them are alive today. But he is there. Then we must look as to where the secret lies. He says he has shrapnel from explosives inside of him. Shrapnel can enter your body through an explosion or even while you are making the explosives. Now there could be shrapnel from explosives inside the bodies of Zaran and the bodies of the other deceased suicide bombers. We must also look into as to why there are shrapnel inside his body. We kept on challenging Minister Rajat Senaratne to come for a public debate if these facts that we present are untrue. He has not provided an answer to date. He has kept ignoring the challenge.
Opposition leader Mahinda Rajapaksa expressed the following views in Kurunegala today. If there is a flaw in either party, the advantage goes to the other party. So what has happened today is that they cannot take decisions in the party. There are a lot of leaders. Everyone wants to be a leader. No, we don't hope that. We get someone who comes. I think a few people have spoken. They are talking to us as well. But we don't want to create a crisis through it.
Several opinions were expressed by the opposition parties regarding the new alliance being formed for the presidential election.
The General Assembly of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party will be held on the 2nd of September. There, we will be discussing on our future leaders and regarding the presidential election. We will present our opinion and the stance of our party on that day. I would like to state that our party is not willing to join the alliance with the United National Party ever again for any reason. There is no issue if one or two members want to leave, they can leave. Today we are building a leftist patriotic alliance which is against the United National Party. We will put forward one candidate from that alliance for the presidential election. The Sri Lanka Freedom Party will stand with that candidate. We are hoping that Mahinda Rajapaksa will announce the candidates that the country expects. The candidate that we expect and the candidate that the country expects at the right time. Our request is that Gotabaya Rajapaksa be put forward as our candidate for the presidential election. That is the request that we make as a group. There is a consensus regarding this among the leaders of the joint opposition. There could be 5 people who are nominated, there could be 10 or 15, but we believe and hope that Gotabaya Rajapaksa will be named as the presidential candidate on that day. It's a victory for Mahinda Rajapaksa since most of the members of the Pohottuwa request Gotabaya Rajapaksa because he's a member of the family. If he just gave a small clue that it's Gotabaya, then there won't be such a big problem. There is no use of telling the name. The person should be qualified. What we say is that the leader of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, Maithripala Sirisena, should be the candidate. We don't talk about common candidates. Common candidates are like public toilets. We do not have an issue in the Sri Lanka Freedom Party fielding a candidate. The general public will be divided at the presidential election.
The Gajasavi Samajawadi Peramuna convened a media briefing in Colombo today.
A presidential candidate that the country, the people and the party members want should be presented by the UNP. We also like to say that UNP supporters are not ready to go and win the election with a common candidate selected by the working committee. This time the party is not ready to wait and see what it gives. We would like to say, if the right decision is not taken, we are ready to take a proper decision at the proper time. A presidential candidate that the country, the people and the party members want should be presented by the UNP. We also like to say that UNP supporters are not ready to go and win the election with a common candidate selected by the working committee. This time the party is not ready to wait and see what it gives. We would like to say, if the right decision is not taken, we are ready to take a proper decision at the proper time.
A consignment of containers with waste imported from foreign countries still lies at the Colombo port and the Katunayaka Free Trade Zone.
A statement released by the director of Ceylon Metal Processing Corporation, a company involved in importing this consignment of waste to the country, stated that this is a highly profitable enterprise.
Are you helping foreign countries dump hazardous waste in Sri Lanka?
Resource recovery business is not the same as waste disposal business. The resource recovery business is one of the most fastly growing business in the world and most admired for the reason it saves the environment by using resources which were recovered instead of using or exploiting resources from the nature.
This person, who was party to the import of garbage into the country, says that this could generate foreign income for the country. However, in a letter signed by him dated the 24th of January 2018, addressed to the general manager of the CICT terminal of the Colombo port, he speaks to the contrary. Sasikumaran Muthumara in this letter says that this company has faced an unexpected financial crisis. He had requested for a concession on the holding charges and delay fees for the garbage containers at the Colombo port. The question on the mind of the general public is, how does a company that is engaged in a successful enterprise that generates foreign income encounter such a financial crisis? The entire country is already aware of the content of the containers that were said to contain used mattresses. Instead of accepting the facts, are these parties justifying the smuggling of garbage? This is the head of Ceylon Metal Processing Corporation who is speaking. He is the main person who imported the garbage into this country. ETL Private Limited and Haley's were also party to the import of these garbage. He is threatening the media, the environmental organizations that acted against this, against those individuals and against us who filed complaints against him. He is thanking the media for giving global attention to his company, whom people knew nothing about. So we wonder, with his threats to the media and other personnel who are the forces behind him who support him to continue this massive destruction to the country, how can this person come out and speak like this without any fear? Even after committing such a crime and violating the environmental law of the country and depriving the people's right to live in freedom, these people can come out and speak fearlessly because of the spineless leaders in countries like ours. It is because of our officials who cannot make a proper decision that these sort of individuals come before the media and make statements like this fearlessly. We have received a lot of information regarding his businesses. There are many properties and businesses that are connected to him as well as his family. Now the government is saying that there is no way to send these containers full of garbage back because his business has collapsed and that this person is bankrupt. His properties should be confiscated and he should be punished. He is threatening the law of the country.
These are the views expressed by President Maithripala Sirisena at the Bandarawela Town Hall.
The drug trade is carried out inside the prison even after they are sentenced to death for drug trafficking. This issue here is very severe, and that is why we took stern decisions. But the big people in the country jumped onto the streets from their houses and began to shout, saying that they do not want the death penalty. A group went to court for the needs of NGOs. Drug smugglers, criminals, rapists, these drug smugglers who abuse our children, started to applaud them. They started lighting firecrackers. They are working with international conspirators to engulf our nation. The presenting of credentials of Most Venerable Galgodagama Sobhithera, who was awarded the position of Chief Sanganayaka of the Uva district of the Amarapura Sri Saddharmavansha sect, was attended by President Maithripala Sirisena.
Veteran actress Sabita Pereira arrived at the police unit attached to the Presidential Commission appointed to probe fraud and corruption. She was summoned to record a statement in connection to the investigation conducted over the Ministry of Agriculture acquiring a private building located in Battaramulla on lease.
On a previous occasion, the accountant of the Ministry of Agriculture stated before the Commission that Sabita Pereira and her husband Upali Jayasinghe had signed the lease of the said building on behalf of one party. Sabita Pereira was informed to appear before the police unit attached to the Presidential Commission at 9:30 a.m. to verify this information. She arrived at the police unit at 2:30 p.m. and provided a statement for close to 2 hours.
In a country where politicians secure most of their votes through promises of lifting up the farmers in the country, our Gum at the door-to-door teams came across many of the farming communities that are severely affected by the lack of water for their crops. They are not asking for luxuries. They are merely asking for water to cultivate their crops.
The team that toured the villages of Arunayaka, Gamtuna, Unakanda, Hemamatagama, Singharajagama, Watavala, Opata, Puhulegama and Kandegama identified the problems of the people living in these villages. The lack of clean drinking water and the lack of proper means for transport are the predominant problems faced by the people in this area. In search of the voice of the forgotten people in our country, one of our Gammadda teams toured the Puttlam district. There are over 10,000 acres of paddy cultivation in the Arachikatua Divisional Secretariat in Chilau. Although these cultivations are nourished by the Vijay Katupotha tank, the water from the tank is not sufficient. Our team spent the entire day going from door to door, talking with the people of Udapur, Andimale and Arachikatua in the Puttlam district, identifying their problems. These people, who make ends meet by cultivating paddy, only hope that their harvest does not go rotten this harvesting season again. The team that toured the Ampara district met with the 200 families residing in Pannalagama, Anamadua. These families, whose livelihoods are heavily dependent on cultivation, are faced with a lack of water for their cultivations. These people are not demanding for luxuries. They are merely asking for water to nourish their crops.
In some breaking news, Non-Cabinet Minister Ajit P. Pereira has sent a letter to Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe containing proposed amendments to the draft of the constitution of the new alliance that was subject to strong criticism at the working committee today. The letter includes 8 principal amendments. The first proposed amendment states that the position of General Secretary of the proposed alliance, the Democratic National Front, should be held by a member of the UNP. The letter goes on to note that the constitution should include the address of the Sirikota party headquarters and that it is inappropriate to include the private address of a member of one of the smaller parties in this alliance. Another amendment was that 6 of the 10 members of the Leadership Council should be from the United National Party and that the Central Working Committee of the UNP will be vested with the power to appoint these 6 members to the Leadership Council. The letter also requests the Prime Minister not to sign the agreement on the formation of the alliance until the proposed amendments are included into the draft constitution and approved by the Working Committee.
දැන් ලැබුණු පුවතක් වෙතයි අවධානය. අද කැඳවා තිබූ කෘත්‍යාධිකාරී මණ්ඩල රැස්වීමේදී දැඩි විරෝධය එල්ල වූ යෝජිත සන්ධාන ව්‍යවස්ථා කෙටුම්පතට අදාළව සංශෝධන යෝජනා ඇතුළත් ලිපියක් කැබිනට් නොවන අමාත්‍ය අජිත් පී පෙරේරා මහතා අග්‍රාමාත්‍යවරයා වෙත යොමු කර තිබෙනවා. අදාළ ලිපියේ ප්‍රධාන යෝජනා 8ක් ඇතුළත්. ඉන් පළමුවෙන්ම වන්නේ යෝජිත ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදී ජාතික පෙරමුණේ ලේකම්වරයා අනිවාර්යෙන්ම එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂයෙන් පත්විය යුතු බවයි. පක්ෂ ලියාපදිංචි කාර්යාලය සිරිකොත විය යුතු බවත් ඒ කුඩා පක්ෂයක මන්ත්‍රීවරයෙකු සතු පෞද්ගලික ස්ථානයක් වීම නුසුදුසු බවත් අදාළ ලිපියේ සඳහන්. යෝජිත නායකත්ව මණ්ඩලය සමාජිකින් 10 දෙනෙකු සිටි නම් ඉන් 6 දෙනෙකු එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂය නියෝජනය කරන මන්ත්‍රීවරුන් විය යුතු බවත් එහිදී පක්ෂය නියෝජනය කරන තැනැත්තන් කවුද යන්න පක්ෂයේ කෘත්‍යාධිකාරී මණ්ඩලය තීරණය කළ යුතු බවත් අදාළ ලිපිය මගින් අජිත් පී පෙරේරා අමාත්‍යවරයා අග්‍රාමාත්‍යවරයාට දැනුම් දී තිබෙනවා. යෝජිත ව්‍යවස්ථාවට සංශෝධන ඇතුළත් කර කෘත්‍යාධිකාරී මණ්ඩලය තුළ අනුමත කරන තුරු එකී පෙරමුණ පිහිටුවීම සඳහා ගිවිසුම් අත්සන් නොකරන ලෙසද අදාළ லிபிய மகின் இல்லா திபெனவா கிருஷ்ணி
ஸ்துதி கோஷிலா தற்போது கிடைத்த செய்தி ஒன்று இன்று நடைபெற்ற ஐக்கிய தேசிய கட்சியின் செயற்குழு கூட்டத்தின் போது ஆட்சேபனை தெரிவிக்கப்பட்ட உத்தேச கூட்டமைப்பு யாப்பு தொடர்பான திருத்தங்கள் அடங்கிய கடிதத்தை அமைச்சரவை அந்தஸ்தற்ற அமைச்சர் அஜித் பி பெரேரா பிரதமர் ரணில் விக்ரமசிங்கவுக்கு அனுப்பி வைத்துள்ளார். இந்த கடிதத்தில் 8 விடயங்கள் பரிந்துரைக்கப்பட்டுள்ளன. அதில் முதலாவது திருத்தமாக ஜனநாயக தேசிய முன்னணியின் செயலாளர் ஐக்கிய தேசிய கட்சியை சார்ந்தவராக இருக்க வேண்டும் என்பது கட்டாயமானதாகும். புதிய கூட்டமைப்பு சிறிகொத்த முகவரியில் பதிவு செய்யப்பட வேண்டும் எனவும் கூட்டமைப்பில் காணப்படும் சிறு கட்சிகளின் உறுப்பினர்களிடத்தில் காணப்படக்கூடிய தனிப்பட்ட இடங்களில் கட்சியின் முகவரி அமைந்திருக்க கூடாது எனவும் கூறப்பட்டுள்ளது. உத்தேச தலைமைத்துவ சபையில் 10 உறுப்பினர்கள் காணப்பட்டால் அதில் 6 உறுப்பினர்கள் ஐக்கிய தேசிய கட்சியை பிரதிநிதித்துவப்படுத்துபவர்களாக இருக்க வேண்டும் எனவும் பிரதமருக்கு அனுப்பி வைக்கப்பட்டுள்ள கடிதத்தில் குறிப்பிடப்பட்டுள்ளது. கட்சியின் தலைமைத்துவ சபையை பிரதிநிதித்துவப்படுத்தக்கூடியது யார் என்பது குறித்து செயற்குழுவை தீர்மானிக்க வேண்டும் எனவும் அதில் குறிப்பிடப்பட்டுள்ளது. உத்தேச யாப்பு திருத்தத்தை செயற்குழுவுக்கு சமர்ப்பித்து அனுமதி பெறும் வரை கூட்டமைப்பை உருவாக்குவதற்கான உடன்படிக்கையில் கைச்சாத்திடக்கூடாது என அமைச்சர் அஜித் பி பெரேரா பிரதமர் ரணில் விக்ரமசிங்கவுக்கு அனுப்பி வைத்துள்ள கடிதத்தில் குறிப்பிடப்பட்டுள்ளது.
And with that, we wrap up Tram News for tonight. Thank you very much for joining us. Do take care and good night.